Hi, I'm Carlos Garcia, and this is the Commissioner's Report.
Ladies and gentlemen, turkey's roasting in our oven. Welcome to a Thanksgiving edition of the Commissioner's Report. I'm your commissioner, Carlos Garcia, the greatest commissioner in all the land. And I'm here to tell you that we made it through another exciting week of fantasy football. This week saw more Burns and Chamberry's first home-cooked turkey, folks, so let's dig in. This week, in the Battle of David versus Goliath, Team Ian beat Team Bruce like he owed him money, folks, 109.5 to 63, leaving him once again in the fetal position. Plus, in a high-hitting affair, Team Kohlbauer was able to squeeze out a W over Team Baba Booey, beating him 124.5 to 117.5. Also, Team Tom was unable to shake off the poop particles from his chest, and they are now all over his face when he was narrowly defeated by Gary, 80.5 to 78.5. The result of this game definitely proves the old saying, sometimes better lucky than good. And in another battle with huge playoff consequences, Team Andy crushed through the 3-game losing streak when he slapped Team Giametta all over the I-95 freeway, defeating him 94.5 to 56.5. And Team Nemeth kept his streak of popping off alive when he crushed Team Grande by 40 points, 138 to 98. Now we hear the Commissioner's Report here Nemeth popped off so hard on Grande's face this week, his eyes are still sealed shut. So we wish Grande a speedy recovery and for some tissues. And in our main event, the predictions were not off, folks. This was a close one, but your commissioner was able to keep his playoff dreams alive when he dethroned Bye-Week Gross from the first place slot by beating him 112.5 to 107. I told you, Gross, I named you, but I had to break you, brother. And with 3 games left to go in the fantasy football season, folks, the playoffs are everybody's ball game. Well, almost everybody. And now, for your Team of the Week.
It takes a special kind of man to become the Team of the Week for the 3rd time this season on the super duper special Thanksgiving week edition of the Commissioner's Report. A man named Dan. A man named Dan with a plan. A man named Dan with a plan and a fan. A man named Dan with a plan and a fan who lived in a van. A man named Dan with a plan and a fan who lived in a van who had sex with a woman named Jan. Gotcha. That is why we'd like to once again congratulate Dan Nemeth on becoming this week's Team of the Week. Congratulations, Nemeth. Congratulations.
Now, as your almighty commissioner, and one that in just a few short days is about to make his comedy debut in beautiful sunny California, I know a good joke when I see one. Which is why it's time for another edition of Carlos's Joke of the Week. Hit it!
We are all blessed, and we should use those blessings to help others. That is why this Thanksgiving holiday, we ask that you give help to those in need. Whether donating food to families in need or volunteering at a shelter, there is plenty you can do to help your fellow humans. You could even help by donating fantasy football roster picks to what surely must have been a deaf and blind child who has never experienced a game of football before. Or maybe the child came from a broken home with daily beatings and no Wi-Fi, and thus wasn't able to make his or her picks, which is why he totally sucked this week. So then you can share your Wi-Fi password with him or her. Or make the picks for the kid. That will help. Or perhaps this was some sort of sick joke played on the kid, right? And you can help catch the bastard and make these awful, awful picks on his behalf. Or maybe this is a cry for help from the kid, because his life is terrible, and he or she is looking for someone, anyone to notice. Whatever you can do it. But for the love of God, somebody please help this poor child, because we just don't know how much time he or she has. Wait, what? He's a grown man? A grown man with a wife? And he meant to make these picks while being of sound mind? Oh God, I think I'm gonna be sick.
This week, with his playoffs hopes over, Team Bruce looks to start rooting records when he faces off against Bye-Week Gross. Also, in a game with huge playoff implications, Team Tom looks to keep a good spot in the playoffs while Team Baba Booey tries to keep his playoff hopes alive. Plus, the 7-4 Nemeth looks to keep his streak of popping off alive when he faces off against 4-7 Gary. Now, if Nemeth's recent scores are any indication, I hope you bring a bib, Gary. And in a rematch from earlier this season, Team Andy Wee looks to get a win back with a vengeance when he faces Team Grande. Also, another rematch from this season, your commissioner is up against Team Giametta. Don't forget to set your lineups, Billy! And in the main event, Team Colbert and Team Ian face off in a battle of white dudes that look very similar. Who's gonna win? I don't know, I can't tell them apart, but find out this week! And there you have it, folks. This has been the Commissioner's Report. For questions or feedback, please mail your letters to Chanberry's Burnt Thanksgiving Turkey. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at CarlosDoesWorld. We'll be back next week with another edition of the Commissioner's Report.